r/ask Reddit. What company will die off with the baby boomers? Probably the Home Shopping Network. No, they'll just rebrand to Amazon TV. Oh shit. Sears. That's going to be gone before them at this rate. Been that way for over a decade, yet they still hang on. The store might appear as the final boss monster on the last season of The Walking Dead. My dad loves Sears. He wanted to buy my daughter a high chair, my son pants and a dryer belt all in the same place. He was also excited to use his points and exclaimed they're just giving this stuff away at least 4 times while walking at a speed I was not comfortable with. My dad also always turned into a speedy walker while in Sears. Same thing with Harbor Freight. No one in the family has bought a flashlight in years because he keeps getting them for free there. He just really loves those stores. Playboy. I'm surprised it's still a thing. They actually tried getting rid of nudity and becoming something like Men's Health GQ Maxim. But after a couple of months they realized that not only did those other magazines already exist, but everyone knows that Playboy has lurid nipple exposure in it, and they're either going to be disappointed that they're gone, or they don't want the stigma and the experience of saying you don't understand. They don't show boobies anymore. It's a classy magazine. You have to read it for the articles now. Over and over is exhausting. Which is kind of a shame because some of the best magazine articles in history have appeared in Playboy. They've never been afraid to be a little edgy or risque. After all, there were naked breasts plastered all over like 20 pages of the magazine. The guys who bought it for those disgusting horse nipples ended up reading some good reporting and adventurous prose in between sessions of furious masturbation. Harley Davidson. They've already been bailed out by the Gov once or twice now, and I don't think they're replacing their customers with a younger base as much as they'd like. I don't know if you've read anything about Harley Davidson lately, but apparently they have a big plan to redo their whole image and change to a completely different line of bikes. I heard they're planning on releasing 100 new different models over the next decade or something, and I'm not exaggerating. The number I heard was 100. Many of these are electric bikes, or sport bikes, or otherwise totally different from what they've done in the past. I'm not making any predictions, but it should be interesting. They will live on as America's largest cosplay supplier. Fingers crossed on high house prices. I hope it happens in the next 18 months because I'm about 24 months away from being financially ready for a house. Don't count on it, and if they do, foreign investors will just sweep in and buy them all up. Yahoo! With no one left to accidentally set it as their default search engine, the advertisement plastered homepage will be left unused and slowly fade into internet oblivion. Well, Yahoo owns Tumblr, so maybe that will help them somehow. Yahoo was purchased by Verizon a few years back. VZ have rebranded it and AOL Earth. They're consolidating what's left. Yahoo Search may disappear, but Yahoo Finance isn't going anywhere. It's the only financial service that I've used that makes sense and provides enough functionality for me to use on a daily basis. Google Finance is a joke in comparison. Yahoo is so weird because they do some unrelated things. Finance, fantasy football, the best, but there's no coherent ideology and they don't really work together. The BBB. Working in retail, the BBB threats were always from older people. Every time I see a post on FB about someone getting bad service or whatever, someone will insist that BBB needs to be notified. Like alarms will go off, and a regiment of customer service officers will be dispatched immediately to the location. We'll see how Tiffany down at the Buenbag feels about not honoring my coupon after she's dragged off in chains. It's because they have the word bureau in their name. People think it's official government. I never paid that much attention and made that same assumption until fairly recently. I'm 40. Yelp from before the internet. Their ratings mean duck all and can be easily purchased. To prove the point, a group of Los Angeles business owners paid $425 to the Better Business Bureau and were able to obtain an A- grade for a non-existent company called Hamas, named after the Middle Eastern terror group. The BBB also awarded an A- rating to a non-existent sushi restaurant in Santa Ana, California, and an A+ to the skinhead, neo-Nazi website Stormfront. AOL. Piggybacking on my original answer with a new one. Reverse mortgages, I hope. But, All those hours of free AOL on CDs I haven't used yet. I called the number on one of those CDs to ask if I could still use my free hours. The lady on the phone had absolutely no idea what I was talking about. Reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit for NES. Jessica Rabbit would give you her phone number, and you were actually supposed to pick up a phone and call it. Now it's a phone sex hotline. Kill the diamond industry. If you really love them, you'll want a stone as perfect as they are. Buy synthetic. Take a GUI's who the world's biggest supplier of synthetic diamonds is. De Beers. So don't buy diamonds. Buy cubic zirconia or moissanite cheaper, not controlled by De Beers, and just as or prettier than a diamond. The only excuse anyone can give to pick a diamond over a simulant is because the diamond is more expensive, which is an excuse that needs to die too. Reader's Digest. I used to only read the jokes pages of Reader's Digest. At grandma's cost, bored out of my mind. Cable TV. Cable itself may die, but those companies are just shifting to streaming anyways. TV is switching from a standard cable subscription to instead numerous streaming subscriptions. Netflix, Hulu, Prime, HBO, NFL Sunday Ticket, Game Pass, etc. I think most cable cutters have at least 2+ streaming subscriptions at any given time. Netflix alone just doesn't cut it anymore. I have a feeling cost-wise it's going to end up being very similar to cable in the next 10 years. Cost was never my problem with cable. It's about $30 here. The problem is commercials and a fixed schedule. Now I pay almost the same for streaming services, Netflix, HBO and Amazon, but goddamn the convenience and not having to watch commercials. Mail order collectibles. I think especially since the Beanie Baby fiasco, Gen Xers and millennials now know that anything marketed as collectible that promises a high second market value is completely untrue. I used to be a charity shop manager. People would come in with these plates and figurines thinking they were valuable because they were collectibles and came with a shitty little certificate. These things barely sold, mainly because they are tacky and ugly, meaning they were basically worthless. If you read articles written by the baby boomers, then Applebee's, Chili's, TGI Fridays, McDonald's, movie theater chains, every large retail chain, but especially JCPenney, every golf course ever, companies that make mayonnaise. Apparently, the way these articles keep going, it seems capitalism might die with the boomers. I read that millennials hate mayonnaise article today and I about died. Blockbuster. Oh wait. Radio Shack. Damn it. Toys R. Goddammit, what's left? Sears? Sears is dead in Canada. The company who makes checks. I'm 72 and I haven't even thought of using a check in a decade. It's cool you're here, bro. I mean, sir. Yeah, I'm still going off the same book from 2005. Once a year or so some off-the-wall company will want a personal check, usually if they need paid and don't have CC processing or want to handle cash. The entire child-sized hand grenades industry. You know, I won't even question this one. Baby boomers. Vacuum stores. Yes, it is a thing. I saw it in the 80s, and I have been shocked to see it in the 90s and throughout every decade since. I can't believe they have outlasted Radio Shack. That and lamp stores. Who shops there? Vacuum stores carry brands such Ricker and Miele that you can't buy at a regular store. Those vacuums are built like tanks and will last you a lifetime. I was once buying a $150 vacuum every year or two. I said no more. Went to one of these stores and bought a Ricker for under $400. I have had it for over 10 years now. I think I have taken it back into the store for service only twice and they charge me nothing for those visits. I hope these stores stay around. Screw those cheap Walmart vacuums. And Dyson is terrible as well. Overpriced junk. Kmart. I'm shocked they are still around, TBH. In Australia, Kmart is something completely different. They underwent a complete image rehaul a few years back and now it's hugely popular, especially for its cheap homewares. It's become a millennial mecca now. I'm no fan of big business, but credit where credit's due. Whoever was in charge of creating and launching their new image deserves an award. Except the dunce that moved the checkouts to the middle of the stores. They can get ducked. Holly Davidson, my fiance and I have pondered more than once about our generation's version of the midlife crisis impulse buy. Pretty sure it's a wall of retro video game consoles. Looks around room, IO. BBB aka Yelp for old people. BBB is a complete and total scam. I own 2 business and 1 is accredited, meaning I pay a yearly fee, and no bad reviews posts, before I get my say, and because of the fee no bad review ever goes up. My other business, not accredited, write a bad review, it stays up with my response, until they figure it out and the other party responds, or doesn't respond. I gave an unaccredited the other business and magically I have an A+ rating. They are scam artists. I didn't pay for shipping a part back to a customer. That's the way my business is. We never pay for shipping parts to us or back to the customer. Yet, this feud went on for 9 months. $1,500 for shipping turned into $3,200 in fees and etc. It was cheaper to pay the BBB for accreditation. Those places that sell the second set of dishes, glasses, whatever they think it's important to buy for a wedding and never use. Tobacco in the United States. In 1992 at the University of Texas there were ashtrays built into the desks in some lecture rooms. Today you'll get tased if you smoke within 20 feet or so of a building entrance. Honestly, big tobacco is just invested in vaping now. They aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Probably pay TV, Foxtel and the like, $190 a month for a service that still runs ads. And I have no choice in what's on. Garbage. For $20.30 a month you can get Netflix, Stan, and more. The De Beers Diamond Cartel. So if you want to get married, you buy a diamond. That's been a thing for a long time now, and they convinced a lot of people that a shiny rock on a metal ring was worth 3 months of your salary. As it turns out, diamonds are forever. Just like the tagline says, as the boomers die, the number of these diamonds that are available are going to skyrocket. Diamonds aren't hard to find. In fact, the De Beers cartel keeps loads of them so they won't lose their value by flooding the market. So one of the things that millennials get blamed for is killing the diamond industry. In reality, diamond jewelry is going to flood the market as the boomers die off. You're going to see a ton of recycled jewelry in the coming decades. Maybe De Beers will catch a break and figure out how to pitch their shiny rocks to the growing middle class in China and India. But in the US, diamonds are not going to be worth much in the coming years. De Beers, with any luck. The coal industry in America. Gibson. They make relatively good guitars for eye-watering prices. They simply are not competitive, and haven't been since the 80s. Japanese, English, Indonesian, Korean and even other American manufacturers pump out better instruments with better QC for far less money. They went into administration this year, and it is exclusively baby boomers who are nostalgic for the good old days of music who pay for their guitars. Montgomery Ward. Oh wait. Not a company as such, but the Church of England, my local church, in a fairly big town, is in terminal decline. 95% of the congregation is over 70. Last year the number of funerals in the parish was about 3 times the number of christenings or weddings. Anyone under the age of 70 who turns up at a service does so just so they can have a church wedding or christening and never go again afterwards, or they're there to get the school place they want. That's why we go. The other churches don't do so badly, but the COF won't be around for much longer. Rite Aid. They've failed at 2 mergers takeovers in the past 2 years, so they probably won't last very long. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.